So just to clarify one quick scene, because I know that it can go over everybody's head because it was very quick. When Ainz was talking about how he wanted to add someone else to the list and he needed to tell Beta, he was talking about the little girl Nemu and all that and how adorable she was, but how fascinated she was of the guild, this home that Ainz and everyone else made. That's who he was talking about. He wanted to add the little girl because of just how she was worthy of his respect. Remember what Ainz said in the last episode. He doesn't really give a crap about anyone in the world. The only people he cares about is people worthy of him and also the citizens of Nazarick. When you think about it, that's kind of what that scene was representing. That the little girl earned Ainz's respect and he wanted to make sure that she was safe and would not die because of just how adorable, but also how much she respected what he loved as well. So a very good moment, very subtle, but it just really shows how Ainz, if you just say something good about his guild, if you say something good about, Nazarick in general, he's probably going to like you quite a bit. It's probably the best thing you could say to the man if you want this man to be on your good side. It's, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, even though it could be potentially, trying to butter someone up, flatter them just to be able to get what you want, obviously the little girl wasn't like that. She wasn't just saying that just to try to butter Ainz up. She was just speaking genuine from the heart, and I think that's what really made Ainz so happy, is that this little girl that obviously is just like a normal human child walks into his throne chamber and all of this different stuff going on. She's not scared. She's in fact overjoyed and just running around very happy, which I think that's what really made him happy. And I especially love the voice acting of that scene with Ainz. His voice actor really demonstrated how excited he was or just shocked. I think you could, even if you didn't hear Ainz's inner monologue and what he was thinking in that moment, you knew how excited he was. It's like a gamer, honestly. I mean, think about it like this. Example, you have a favorite game you like or a favorite book or show, and, you love it a lot. You've worked on it, or, you love it. It's just your passion. You love talking about it. You love having people that like it as well, talking to people that like it, and all of a sudden someone comes up to you and starts talking about something you like, you're gonna get happy. It's gonna make you overjoyed. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm like that. If I like a certain game or a show and I can find someone that likes it, I could probably talk for a while with that individual and, probably get to know them and like them as a friend or something, just because of how we have something that's just very in common with each other. So that's kind of why Ainz was so excited, and the voice actor really showcased that properly, I think, just showing how much he was excited to know that this little girl was just so happy with what his friends made. But that's cool. It's a cool little tidbit. It's definitely one of my favorite moments of the episode, and I think many might like it as much as I did, but yeah. But okay, let's also talk about the tension of that scene. Now, was I the only one? Even though I know what was going to happen, like, I've, read the light novel, I still had, like, bad vibes. Like, I had, like, tension when I was watching that scene, because we know how the citizens of Nazarick are when it comes to anyone. You don't need to just be human. You could be anything. Anyone that's just not a part of Nazarick, that is a proper creation of the Supreme Beings, they don't like you at all, okay? We know how the Supreme Beings are. For instance, if Albedo was there, woo, that would not be good. That'd be one of the worst things possible. And throughout the scene, I know there had to be many that was just like, uh-oh, when's it gonna go wrong? When's something gonna go wrong? Like, is, Albedo gonna pop up? Is Shaltir gonna pop up? Be very upset that, this little girl's getting to spend time with Ainz and all that, running up to him and all that on his throne. You just, like, something bad is probably going to happen. And I want to be honest, like I said, even though I knew what was going to happen, I had that vibe, because it's just like, that's the aura that, Nazarick gives off, or at least from all of the NPCs we have seen, that if someone tries to talk with Ainz like that, it's not probably going to go well for you. So I guess they're thankful for the fact that none of the NPCs were there besides the maids, and that's kind of why everything went okie dokie. But okay, let's talk about the exchange with Ainz and kind of what he got out of all of this, because that's the main importance of what this arc was about. So I think everybody can fill in the dots. I don't think many would probably miss it, but the goblin, or the troll, correction, my bad, the troll that we saw the goblins fighting within this episode, they were talking about how odd it was, how different it was. And when you think about what we saw in the last episode, we saw it firsthand of how trolls regenerate. Ainz is fighting that one troll, and he got destroyed. Yes, he died, but he did have regenerative capabilities. And the troll that they were fighting in this episode, which looked very similar, it wasn't regenerating. Now, obviously, the goblins do say that, You know, maybe it's a different subspecies or something, which would make sense. But he's like, it just didn't feel right. The way it moved, to the way it acted, it just didn't feel like it was alive. It felt more like a puppet than anything else. And I think in that moment, many anime-onlys can draw the conclusion and realize what happened. It's very apparent that Ainz used the body of a troll, turned it into an undead to start the entire ordeal. And now many are probably wondering, why would Ainz do that? Why would he make an army go after the very town that he didn't want destroyed? And he was, you know, telling Beta, like, look, I care about those individuals. I don't want no harm to come to them. But they easily could have died within this episode. You know, they easily could have just been snuffed. Their life could have been snuffed out like it was nothing. But why would Ainz do that? Why would he apparently send an army to go after the village? Well, think about it from a different standpoint, a business standpoint. Remember, Ainz is kind of like a boss. He's running a business here, okay? I mean, he's talked about the potions, too. So, the thing was, he wants to get the village in his debt. Or at the very least, the individuals that matter most within the village, he wants to get them in his debt. Which, that's what happened. With him sending Beta like that to kind of help everything out, it caused it to where they will be internally grateful to Ainz and Nazarick, but then also inviting them, it kind of is Ainz showcasing his power, how strong he is, the wealth he has, and how he can always make the, you know, the town prosper, to always have funds and protection as long as if they fall in line. Now, he may not have downright said that, but he was basically putting them in a position to where they had no way to really get out of this. They're in Ainz's debt, they think he's a great man, and that's what Ainz wants. And remember what he said, he didn't want to control the village through fear. But in extension, even though they're not going to be ruled by fear, he kind of forced them in a corner to realize that they won't probably be able to fight every single battle, and they might need Ainz's help. So yeah, that's what's really cool about this. Ainz got a lot out of this. He forced an army to go after the village just to make them in his debt, which kind of shows once again a little bit more of the darker aspects of Ainz. Now, like I said, he's trying to run a business, but it's a darker side to him that obviously is becoming more and more apparent as the series progresses. Now, another thing as well is the entire situation with the troll. It's very apparent that when the troll first appeared and you saw the hand come up on the wall, that was, I know what you're doing, Madhouse, and I think if anyone has seen it before, even if you haven't seen it, it's so iconic. You know, today was a grim reminder. You probably know what I'm already talking about, Attack on Titan. Just when the troll put his hand on the wall and then peered over it like that, it looks so much like Attack on Titan, and I feel like that was intentional. Like, I feel like the animators, everyone that was designing that scene for this episode of Overlord, was going out of their way to really show that they want to do like some form of Attack on Titan scene. And I'll be honest, they did succeed in a lot of areas for that. I mean, especially the window peak, which was truly horrifying, honestly. Even though we know the troll isn't necessarily as strong as Ainz's group, we know that these regular humans like Henry and all that, they can't do much against these type of creatures. They'll die instantly. And when you just see this troll look through the window, you're like, oh my god, their level of strength, just how creepy it is. Like, this man could easily just snuff them out like it's nothing. I find that depiction of the troll really well done. Because, I mean, we know how strong they are, but just seeing how, you know, terrifying it was, it's just pretty impressive, even though they had to take some few nods from Attack on Titan to kind of achieve it. So, as we know, the entire point between the boy and the girl, Henry and Nefri, or whatever, I can't pronounce his name right. I'm just going to be completely honest here, okay? I can't pronounce it right, and I know many are going to probably want to just slit my throat because I can't. But, you know what? Let's move on. But, anyways, there was a romantic subplot, which has been very apparent, and if you've seen a lot of anime, manga, or even light novels, you know that there's usually a lot of romance, and Overlord has had its fair share of at least, you know, love interest to romance here and there. It's had some build-up throughout the series, and it's kind of like Ainz forced those two individuals to become a little bit more deep deeper bonded to where now they're kind of like they can't be separated, because if they lose each other, it'd be very bad. And it's also what you could assume Ainz was also planning for. Like, did he want these two individuals to become even deeper in a relationship for, now he has a better, grip on the potion making? That's what makes you think, like, is that what he wanted? To get them to love each other a little bit more, to accept each other's feelings, just for you to have a little bit more control, to control their actions, whatever may happen in the future. I do want to talk about how irrelevant the troll was. See, like I already said in this video, the troll was terrifying, and had Attack on Titan vibes going on, and Henry and all that, was just terrified of it. But soon as Beta showed up, it died off screen, which just shows how insignificant those creatures are compared to Ainz's group. But, like, they terrorize everyone, but then Beta comes in, just stops like it's nothing, and deep fries it while it's, like, nobody's even paying attention to it. She's like, oh, that smells like hamburger! That's great. Like, by the way, that made me chuckle, as you can see. But, just, like, it shows that Ainz's group is in a whole other realm compared to anyone else. They're like gods amongst mortals. And it really gets that strength comparison across in that one moment. And it's one of the big reasons why I really love Overlord. It's just how scenes like that are done. Like how we have, like, the shift from this serious moment to where, like, nobody can stop anything, to a moment where Ainz groups comes in and they can just clear up everything like it's nothing and everything's okie dokie. I think I pretty much have covered everything that needs to be talked about. I mean, I've covered the little girl. Oh yeah, speaking of the little girl, Ainz, or the animators, I know your intentions were decent, but this image of Nemu in front of Ainz, it's, how can I say it? You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I think everybody could kind of see how that image could be a little bit messed up. But I'm gonna end this video here. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. Be safe. Chibi out.